Hey everyone, and welcome to Almost Cancelled. I am Peter, that is Connor, and we are going to talk about Altered Carbon Season 1, Episode 6. It's called Man With My Face. Full spoilers for the episode, as always. So, we got bionic arms now, as a thing.
I'm down for that.
Now, this is the thing, right? So he rushes Ortega to hospital at the start. We get some nice pretty city shots with the flying cars, which made me think, you know what? They've not really had a good action sequence involving the flying cars yet. I'm kind of expecting one by the end of the season.
Yeah, they should. If not, it's a missed opportunity.
It is. If nothing else, if they don't do it, if they get a season 2, they have to plan for it in season 2.
Yeah, I think if I don't see one, I'll feel like they're cheaping out on me. Even though it looks amazing, it's clearly expensive.
Yeah.
I'll just feel like they cheaped out on not showing us that.
Yeah, and not giving us something big with them. But so he gets to the hospital, and obviously they bring up a question that is a fair one to ask in this show: is why are you trying so hard to fix her body when, well, just put her in
Just have her a new one.
Yeah, but given her family's against that, she might not be very thrilled with it, and it's kind of a sign that Takeshi's got a bit of a heart, that he's not willing to just do that. Like he's actually concerned about her feelings a little bit here. So hey, that's a bit endearing. But as the doctors are working on her, the doctors basically get him, like, he's got like a little mic and he's talking to him through the wall and trying to give him a sales pitch. You should look. We've got a range of bionic arms, and I recommend this one that's got all these features and all that. And he gets really upset about it. Also, they've got just DNA readers to pay for things, and she can't afford the treatment. So Kovac, of course, has access to Bancroft's funds, so he just spits on it.
Yeah, that's cool.
And the nurse is, all taken aback by it. But so even though she was getting a fake arm, right? She's getting a bionic arm, which of course they have it in this world. It makes complete sense. I didn't necessarily jump to, it'll be a super arm that'll have strength of,
Oh, did you not?
I didn't know. It was when she woke up and she just she was getting angry because her partner's dead and whatnot, and she grabs the banister in the bed and it just bends, and I'm like, oh, it's got strength.
That was the first thing I thought. If you're going to give someone bionic arms, they might as well be strong.
Well, see, that's the thing though, because it wasn't this is a military experiment or something like that. Because it was just, no, this is something that you get at hospitals as standard if you can afford it. I assumed, it'll just be to replace arms. However, he did pick one of the expensive ones. I'm going to make a guess and say that the cheaper ones might not be as
strong. Yeah. No, that's fair.
Yeah, but no, he's got the fancy one that he paid for. So
Comes in handy, doesn't it?
She's got a super arm, and when the captain comes over and he kind of confesses that he's been on the take to turn a blind eye to various things that have been going on, she goes apeshit and starts throwing him into the wall. And
The wall is just cracking.
I'm like, yes, she's Adam Jensen from Deus Ex. Yes,
it is. You're right. Let's replace the eyes.
Replace the eyes, the legs, the other arm. Let's go full on.
The lungs, of course.
Oh sure, yeah, all the various things.
Let's do the lot.
But that was fun. Ortega's suddenly catapulted to the best character on the show because she's got a super arm.
She's probably the best character on the show before that, to be honest.
She probably was. Here's the thing, though. Well, Poe's got, I think, a fight against her, I think.
Okay, that's fair. She's down to preference, I think, at that point.
Yeah. Here's the thing about this show at this point, and what I kind of... Because obviously we enjoyed the last half of the episode 5, and for the most part. Although it's funny, actually, after we reviewed the last one, I actually kind of realised that we never even talked about the whole... The disease thing, and... Bancroft going and sacrificing this sleeve to show that he's one of the people, and otherwise...
Yeah.
We haven't even talked about that, but neither here nor there. What kind of occurred to me in this show is I enjoyed quite a lot of this episode, right? And what I've kind of realised I'm at the point, and it's kind of a shame that this is how I'm feeling with it now, but it's got a positive spin on it too, is that I've kind of accepted that it's very surface level and there's no depth to the writing, but when they start bringing in bio arms and they start bringing in assassin chicks at the end, like ninjas with swords, and
that's the thing. When it's doing that stuff, it's fun.
Yeah.
When it tries to be serious sci-fi and go deeper, it's tedious.
It is. Which is why this episode mostly comes out on top. Mostly. There's some bits here or there.
I have some problems, how last episode they were putting together the case and they were like, it's the sun. And then he gets there and he goes, yeah, it's not the sun. I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake, why are we doing this?
I did enjoy, though, Bancroft because they get the sleeve that the son had, and he just picks up the fire poker and starts like beating the shit out of this. And I loved the subtle, just the small amount of blood spatter. I mean, obviously he's covered in it, he's drenched in it, he's hitting this body, he's covered in blood. But the lawyers just get this teeny little bit of spatter, just a little bit, just enough to make her really uncomfortable that she's putting up with this.
Yeah,
I kind of like that. But hey ho, so yeah, the case isn't solved apparently, even though it seemed like a done deal last episode. It felt like a done deal.
Yeah, we've got no leads again.
Yeah, case is back to being whatever. Especially since where this episode leaves, I feel like we're not even going to be exploring the case next episode. We're going to be explaining why his sister's around and why she's here after all this time. Now, obviously, it'll be a clone of her body, and that's assuming it's even really her in there. Because I mean, that could be a twist, is that he thinks it's her for the episode, and then at the end it's like, no, it's someone else and a clone of her body.
If they do that, they won't tell us next episode. It'll be an end of season reveal.
Well, it won't be the end of the season. It'll maybe be in the finale.
It'll be in the last episode.
But it'll be in enough time for there to be a confrontation about it.
Yeah, it won't be like the ending moment.
It won't be a cliffhanger for the season.
The end of the season. Yeah, it'll be part of that ending section, not straight away.
I can see them doing it earlier. Maybe not the same episode next time, but I can see it being like the second last episode, get into the finale.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I mean, it's not that much different at that point because it's next one's
7. Oh yeah, I know, but what I'm saying is I don't think it's necessarily the end of the season. I think it could be literally any episode. If they're going to pull that, I think it could literally be any episode before the end of the season. I think it's actually her though, because I think that's more interesting if it is actually her.
It's more interesting, yeah.
That doesn't mean it's true,
so but he's not the last of the envoys, and
yeah, there's 2 of them, and of course his sleeves walking around because Demi the twin, who so there was a Shadow Walker or the Ghost Walker, sorry, Ghost Walker who. So yeah, we'll get a little bit more. Like, everyone's kind of looking for him now, and we find out he's working for some other guy called Hemingway, who's like the big head honcho. It feels a little bit weird to bring in this new character that's this big.
He's the one that the captain's been taking kickbacks from.
Yeah, but he actually the Ghost Walker actually works for him, which I was like, okay, so we're giving him like a boss, which I thought was because he felt so
underwhelming because he felt like such a force, and he had he clearly had this strong set of beliefs and ideologies, and it's like. All right, he's just someone's henchman.
And the one scene that we get of Hemingway, honestly, well, there's 2 scenes we get of him, but the one we used there in person was kind of underwhelming because he was just kind of monologuing throughout it. It wasn't really that
kind of very typical mob boss, basically.
Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot going on for him in that scene. It was kind of dull in that sense. But the scene I did like with him in it though was the VR scene where they pretend like Kovac pretends to be the captain. I liked there was an eerie feeling to that scene. It was like all these like awkward close-ups and the music and the distorted digital visuals. It was kind of
that's it. It's the block colours of the people rather than actually being in regular colour.
It had a vibe. I liked it. I had a vibe. And of course they wake up and someone's decapitated everyone in the building. Well, we know who it is. It's Demi the twin, but in Kovac's body. That's the reveal. Yes. And then they take him to the guy from the fighting club place, who's like, "Yeah, I can't have you knowing how I do business. You've learned too much. You're going to go into the ring and die."
I'm kind of torn on this because as fun as it is, I'm like, oh, okay, another fight club thing. Didn't we kind of did that at the party?
Yeah, we did. This was better though.
This was better.
Yeah, this was way more fun than that one at the party. Because this was actually a fight. Plus, Ortega's got a superhuman arm. She's like. Using that all over the place.
I don't know if this was in your head or not, but there's the 2 mutant-y guys that they're fighting.
Yeah.
Bebop and Rocksteady.
That did not occur to me, but I can kind of... Well, I can see Rocksteady. Bebop, not so much.
Yeah, okay, he's more of a stretch, but they're a pair. He's kind of... He's a big, ugly dude. It works.
Yeah, because Bebop's more the hog, whereas Rocksteady's the one with he's the rhino. He's the one with the horns. And that's what that kind of thing in the head was. It was kind of like a horn.
It was, but it was all I could think of when I was watching this.
I enjoyed that fight. I also enjoyed it when he killed him in the 20, pulled out his stack, and he's like, I like how he threw it over to Ortega because she's got the hand that can crush it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
I'm really digging this hand.
Yeah, because they're both on the ground and they're both like tired and like in pain because they've just had this giant fight with these bad guys, and she just sort of leans over after she's used her arm and she's like, "By the way, I really like my new arm." Because at first she's pissed at the start of the episode when she finds out she's got an arm that's new. Yeah. She's like, "Did you make any other upgrades?" Yeah, while I was out when she was remodeling. Yeah, I'd have cracked the joke right there if I was him.
Yeah.
But yeah, so no, I'm digging the bionic arm.
Yes.
That is good fun. I'm liking that they are fully working together now. There's no weird, like, I don't trust. Well, I mean there is kind of, but it's different now because it's not like, oh, I'm working with you out of spite. It feels like they're in it together because they've both been
They're
targeted.
just doing it, yeah.
Yeah. So I appreciate that. There's scenes that I like in theory on paper that I don't think work out as well. When Vernon goes to see him at the hospital when she's still asleep, and he's out in the rain, like, you know, Kovac is just out in the rain, and he turns and he sort of like monologues to Vernon and says, "Go away," in the rain. I'm like, I like this in theory. You've got the nice visuals of him standing in the rain and the trench coat.
It's just a bit hollow, isn't it?
Yeah, it feels like you're doing what you think these noir cyberpunk scenes should be.
You're doing Blade Runner, but you're not. Which
And
is
this
kind of
is
the
my
same
thing.
problem with Blade Runner.
This is the thing. I don't think cyberpunk should aspire to Blade Runner necessarily. Have the city look like Blade Runner. I feel like the rest of it do different things. And this is just kind of, that seems whatever. And Vernon's pissed at Poe because he feels like there's no progress, and he jacks into the virtual reality world when he's not too thrilled that Poe's. He thinks Poe's getting some sort of weird fetish thing out of his daughter hitting him. When Poe's whole thing's like, no, I'm trying to make her feel safe and powerful.
Yeah.
And Poe doesn't feel pain, so he's like, yeah, hit me.
It seemed a bit weird for him to be like, yeah, why wouldn't you be like, this is a good thing?
It was weird. I mean, it'd be one thing if Poe was going, oh yeah, baby, hit me again, as if he was like into it, but it
yeah,
wasn't.
but he's just going, yeah, just do it.
Yeah.
I will say I liked when I was like, hey, you're the hotel, so what if I break it? And he smashes the glasses.
Yeah, and the two miniguns came out the ceiling. He's like, yeah,
And
try
that's
it again,
goes, oh,
buddy.
do you feel pain? He's like, no, I don't feel pain, but I do feel anger.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I liked his sister's entrance, who Rylene's her name. I liked her entrance at the end because it was either going to be her or it was going to be Falconer, right? That was the two because
Yeah.
it was obviously a woman. You could tell. I mean, well, a woman's body in this show doesn't necessarily mean that the stack is a woman, but you could tell it was a woman's body, and I was like, okay, so it's either going to be the sister or it's going to be Falconer, and sure enough, it was her.
I thought it was going to be Falcon, I'll be honest, but
Did you? Okay.
I mean, it was going to be either or, but if I was leaning, I'd have guessed the other one. If you'd have asked me to guess.
Yeah. I like this actress though, so I'm glad we're going to have her around.
Yeah, obviously.
But yeah, she has a really cool entrance. She actually comes in and like takes out a bunch of bad guys because even though they've won the fight, the ringleader's about to send in, like, everyone go in and kill them, like, just do it. And then she comes in and saves the day. And that's a big cliffhanger for the end of the episode, which is a fine cliffhanger as they go. But I really dug the last, like, I mean, I dug different portions of it throughout. This wasn't all one sided like the last episode was. Like I dug different sections throughout, but I really liked the last 10 minutes. Again, it was in a really sort of shallow, this is just kind of fun action and like badass visuals kind of way, but
it's well shot and it looks great, so that's fun. But it's not doing a whole lot, is it?
Yeah. Kovac isn't great. He did have one or two lines that cracked me up though in this one. I'll give him that.
And any that you can remember off the top of your head?
It was where he made like a snide little remark mid fight where he just kind of like shrugged something off. It felt like for the first time because I feel like, I mean, I like Kinnaman well enough in certain roles. Although he's a wee bit stale as a detective. I feel like he's more interesting if you give him something else to do.
He's fine,
yeah,
but he's not the best.
No. Ortega's grown on me a lot though, I think, throughout the show, because she's had a lot more character.
Oh yeah, she's easily my favourite.
Yeah.
Like, no question. Even before the Bionic arm, she was my favourite. So
I think before it was Poe, but now she's got a Bionic arm. I'm like, no, you know what?
You jump inside.
Ortega's taking it.
Yeah, no, I get that.
Hey, that said though, if Poe builds himself a robot suit so he can go outside, then we can talk.
No, that'll take. I will say, I really can do without any more of the flashbacks to him as a child.
Oh yeah.
Like they did it again here, where it was to say, oh, this wasn't the father, this wasn't the son who killed the father because he didn't have that look in his eyes, and
that's fair.
I get that, like the flashbacks are like showing us. It's like, okay, he killed his dad. I get it. I don't need to see that. I get what he's thinking.
It didn't bother me so much in this one because it was just a couple of quick flashes in the middle of the scene, whilst the other dialogue was still going on. So it didn't feel like we stopped everything to go and have a flashback.
No, I just feel like it's unnecessary. Like it's like the third or fourth time we've seen that. And
yeah, no,
I know I've seen it.
I can't fault it. or fault that opinion. But no, so I dug that. I dug the beheadings, obviously, because why wouldn't I?
Obviously, yeah.
I mean,
Goes without saying.
I did really like that when Demi the Twin, because he basically realizes he's about to be assassinated. The Ghost Walker's about to kill him because he starts doing his whole "Are you a believer" speech, which is kind of his calling card that he's about to kill you. He makes a run for it, and he basically just calls the Fight Club guy, and he's like, "Hey, I'll work for you. Like we said. Just I need an extraction." And he does the whole thing where his data just gets sent to somewhere else, so the body's just left lying there. I thought that was a neat little scene.
Yeah, that was a cool concept.
Yeah, I like that. I don't think it's weird that he's already out of the Kovac sleeve though. Once he showed up in that, I thought, oh, he's going to be in that for the rest of the season now. That's going to be like the looking at his own face.
Yeah, like that monologue he gives Kovac.
Yeah,
it's a great monologue.
But then he's true death by the end of the episode. And it's like, okay.
Yeah. The question is though, where did he get the sleeve from? Are there more of them?
Oh, that's true. Yeah, there could be more.
Can we have an army of Kovac's or Kovac sleeves coming against him?
Does Kovac duplicate himself?
Yeah. I think it's easy to say at the end of the season if he could go back into that now. Like, all right, so we've got the DNA of that body lying around. He could have that sleeve back.
Yeah, it could. It's worth mentioning when he's in the rain and he's having his like fight with his imaginary version of Falconer, and he's talking to her. He starts saying, "Oh, maybe we should live forever." Like, he's actually starting to like doubt what he was fighting for in the first place. He's all because she's all like, "Oh, you're supposed to just let people die. She doesn't matter. Like, Ortega doesn't matter." And he's like, "No, it does. Like, he's clearly going to be pissed if she dies. He cares." Which again, I think at least in the sense that it's endearing for his character that he does care, even though the scene itself is just kind of this very cliched.
Yeah, and I will say it's starting to be a bit of a problem for me that we're 6 episodes done now, and I really I'm not any clearer on the Envoy ideology. What was their fight? I was hoping that I'd have learned a bit more by this stage.
I wonder if we'll get that next episode. Actually, like if we're going to get like flashbacks or explanations of why the sister's around, I wonder if we'll get a lot of that then.
Yeah, I could do. Like maybe he's strayed from the mission, like the cause, and she's going to set him straight. I don't know, but I'm hoping so because it's something that has been interesting since the start, and they've not really done anything with it yet. Yeah.
It does mean as well that let's say we do lose Kinnaman because he's in a different sleeve next season, but we get to keep Ortega. Like that'd work out
ideal.
Nice.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
And again, not that Kinnaman's bad; he's doing a very good job, but there are just more interesting options.
Yeah, I think there is. I feel like he's okay, but the stoic characters maybe not had the best route for him.
Yeah.
Because
he's doing the best with what he's got.
The few times that I really like him in this tends to be when they actually give him a little joke or something funny to say or a little one-liner.
Yeah, definitely.
But hey, so that's the thing. But no, I did have fun with this episode for the most part, even though there's still some of the same lingering
it's still
problems.
Very an inconsistent episode, but it was not inconsistent all in one chunk, so that was better.
I also think overall it had a lot more fun. Like I feel like it's really not focusing on the case as much as you think it would be because there really isn't that much of it. But I think overall this episode had a lot more fun kind of ideas following one after the other. Going to the cyber cafe to jack into VR to like try and talk to the bad guy. The Fight Club, the Bionic arm, like all this stuff. The Ghost Walker, like.
And I will say this episode was about 5 minutes shorter than the average one, and I felt that helped.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
I'm a little concerned because I know the next one's a bit longer. I think it's a bit over an hour.
Yeah, the next one's the longest one of the season. Yeah,
which has me a little concerned because this show has had some pacing problems with the longer episodes.
That's true.
But maybe it's longer for a good reason.
Yeah, because they're explaining all the Envoy stuff, so they need extra minutes for it.
Yeah, possibly.
It's entirely possible. I don't know. But hey, so who killed Bancroft? No idea.
Who cares at this point? I just want.
I know who cares. I don't really care that. Like, it's funny. That was the entire like sort of driving thing at the start of the show, and I feel like I'm way more interested in why is his sister around? Let's talk about the Envoys. Let's talk about what they're doing. Let's form the relationship a bit more with Ortega. That's the stuff I care about. The actual the case is just like whatever. It's there.
I feel like because they really revolve the marketing for the show around that. You know, like that whole speech from Bancroft at the start. I want you to find out who killed me.
Mm.
I feel like that was a mistake. I don't know. I feel like because that's what I was expecting the show to be. In the start of the show, it feels like that's what it's going to be, and now it's kind of like, yeah, that's not really the focus anymore. It's there, but it's not the focus of most episodes.
I don't know if I necessarily remember that being overly focused on in the trailers or whatever.
Oh, every trailer I saw, that's the big.
I don't know if I remember the trailers all that much, to be honest, but I didn't necessarily go in with a strong feeling that the entire thing was going to be this murder investigation.
It's the big hook that at the end of every trailer version that they had. So that was what I was expecting.
But at the same time, I'm actually kind of. I mean, in theory, I'm glad all the stuff in the trailers was mostly from the first episode or two.
It was, yeah.
So how do you counter that if you're annoyed that they sold you something that wasn't actually the focus as much for the rest of the season?
I don't know. I feel like there's got to be a better way of doing it, right? Without going, okay, the hook of the show. If they, I know, Ramon. We talked about this the first episode. You mentioned the hook for you was the visuals and such. And I feel like, okay, play up the action a bit more, and play up some of the character moments, like a small, like just quippy character beats. You know, the ones that we're liking from Kovacs, those little one-liners, things like that. Play up the tone of that rather than the mystery.
Maybe. I think the risk, though, if you focus more on the action and you show a lot of action stuff in the trailer, I don't think this show constantly has that. I feel like that would actually disappoint more people if they see an action-packed trailer and then the show is actually a bit more, noir, gritty pacing.
That's a fair point.
So, yeah. I don't know. That doesn't bother me as much. I very rarely have the complaint with anything that, oh, they missold this to me. This was in the trailer, so I was expecting this. I very rarely actually have that feeling because I'm just kind of used to being misled. Like, it's the same with comic books and covers. Like, the comic book cover very rarely actually is representative of what is actually in the goddamn comic book.
I feel trailers are a bit more representative most of the
They
time.
are typically, but I feel like more often than not, there's a lot of stuff that does mislead you. And sometimes it's for the better. A movie came out last year, It Comes at Night. The trailer is totally misleading, but the movie's really great. Now, admittedly, some people won't have that opinion on the movie. They will watch that movie and think, oh, nothing happens. Well, it was the thing the trailer was kind of implying. And that was my impression of Tim in the review of It Comes at Night. But I guess what I'm saying is I'm used to enough that trailers sometimes have to like pick something to focus on, even if that isn't. Because I think there's, I mean, maybe not this in particular, but I do think there's some movies and shows that it's hard to, like, how do you advertise it?
Oh, it can be, yeah. Especially, I think it's particularly hard with a dry drama. I feel like it's easier when you've got big visuals to kind of just go, ooh, look at this, to people.
Yeah, no. Sometimes, honestly, I think the way you advertise a lot of movies and shows is you just have something that's like a scene almost, like like an overly edited trailer, something that's mostly just one scene, and it gives you a bit of mood and like atmosphere and tone.
Tone, yeah, because I will say I didn't get any of the tone that this show actually is, the atmosphere from the trailer, really. It was a very fast moving trailer.
No, that's fair. That's fair. But again, that's something I'm just used to, is that trailers 99 times out of 100 are fast paced, because that's just what it's
more interesting to more people.
It's just this what the standard trailer is going to be. Even when the movie or whatever is going to be a slower paced thing. Which is why it stands out and it's impressive when they do have a slower paced trailer, where it's just something a bit more, mood piece. But hey ho. So anyway, episode 6 was mostly fun. As much as
hey, I got bionic arms and sword fights. I'm down for that anytime.
Yeah. Obviously, getting into the show, we were hoping for something a bit more meaty, something with a bit more weight to it.
Yeah, we wanted some depth, stuff to really discuss and analyze. Where ultimately it's like, okay, this stuff's fun, this stuff's kind of plotting.
I mean, the surface level ideas are all there, but they're not really exploring them in the great ways.
Much with them. Like, it feels like they keep telling us about the religious stuff or the neo-Cs and stuff, but they're not really doing anything with it in terms of messaging. It's just kind of, hey, this is a thing. And
it's kind of there.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll factor out the plot in some way, but it's certainly 6 episodes in. It doesn't really feel like they've done anything with a lot of those things. The
thing is, like, especially that they keep telling us how some cases are really hard to solve because they can't just boot people back up because they're not allowed. And I feel like that's not really been important to anyone as of yet.
Not as of yet. Here's the thing: not all of these things would have had to have been done yet, because we're only just over halfway through. But I really feel at this point there's no way we can do all of this in the last 4 episodes.
I know it's too much now, isn't it?
Yeah, so we'll just have to wait and see what they do. But so I guess what I'm saying is it's disappointing in the sense that it's not this. It's a great show, especially since Netflix over the past say 6 months have actually given us a lot of great, obviously Dark, Mindhunter, like shows that we really liked and really sunk our teeth into.
Got some really good discussion out of those.
Yeah. And then, and then of course shows that came back for second seasons like Stranger Things and,
Yeah, of course you have Black Mirror.
And Black Mirror, of course, yeah, and whatnot. And then this is like, no, this is, it's good on a surface level way, but it's definitely not the
I think it's amusing where something that we covered from Netflix not so long ago was Travelers, which on the surface I'd say shouldn't be as good as this, just on a just when I look at it, but that we had a lot more depth to discuss.
Oh yeah, Travelers is a better show than this. That is no question.
Absolutely, but if I just watched a trailer for both of them, I would tell you this should be the better show every time.
Yeah, it's a shame though because sometimes it's the stuff that gets the most money spent on it ends up being the like
it coasts by on the look and the style and the money, and
it's almost rare to get the really expensive thing that has the quality writing that you'd want it to hit that. But hey ho, so that's been episode 6 of Altered Carbon. Let us know what you think of this one in the comments below. Like, subscribe, all that stuff. Get us on the Twitters at mailed_fuzz for channel updates. If you want to support the channel, head over to patreon.com/mailfuzztv. There's a link in the description. But otherwise, that is us. So thank you once again for watching. Keep watching TV. Have you got any vanilla?